Hey, what's up, everyone? Welcome back. Lehman here. Let's talk about my sets. So, Umbra, under the last video, requested what are my builds, or like he said, bro, show builds. So this is what I will be doing. So I will show you or showcase all four builds that I have, like all four elements. So I start with the intelligence set, and the intelligence set is actually quite simple. It's the basic PvP inset with the Renetal set combined with the War Fortress set. So you use 3 pieces of Renetal and 3 pieces of the War Fortress set. Uh, it packs a punch. It has nice critical damage, and yeah, in general, I really like the set. It has some drawbacks because it needs the War Fortress shield for AP, so I'm not that flexible with shield, and so I'm always a little bit weak in close combat. But in general, here the Inky is rounding the whole set up, and yeah, that's it. So now I'm getting a Colo. I think first of all I will showcase all the sets. I will accept the Colo, but I will cut it so that the Colo will be at the end, like as a little like treat. So don't mind me. But yes, this is my intelligence set. It's crit int. It has a 1200 int, some crits. So here's my Colo. At the moment, I'm at 4100, which is alright. I'm usually between 4100 and 4200. I try to go a bit higher, but like I said, with the Yep, it's always problematic. So after showing you the close combat variant of my inset, this is my ranged variant. So I changed the Inky for Meridium Cloak to get the AP that I would lose by the War Fortress shield, and then for Leaf's shield as well as the Etymology wand. Quite simple, and now let's see about the strength set that I used in the last video. So this is again a combination of the corruption set and the bleeding heart set. Oh yeah, and yes, these are the other inputs. I tend to use the critical hit, so the Snayman, because I realized the damage is almost the same, and the 15% extra critical hits just makes me hit more consistent. But here, the Amulet of Bleeding Heart and the or in general the whole set, the same as the whole corruption set, together with the daggers and a Cthulhu mask, is I think yet again the standard PvP set, so nothing too special. And yeah, some Dofuses. I can change the shield. I can do anything I want. I can. Sometimes I don't want to have some weakness or resistance, and I go with the. I cannot pronounce it. The shield I showed in the end. And yeah, and then I also have different sets. So this is when I go more bulky, basically utilizing a shield within resistances and 5k HP to have a more consistent build. So I go with that, and then I also have a Crocobure set, which is just to have some fun. I tend to not use the Crocobure set because it makes me too weak. I feel like it has too many drawbacks. But this is my 12 IP set. This is my 12 IP range set. With the Cat's Eye Bow, and then I also have the 12 AP set where I change the Cthulhu Mask with the Mrs. Freeze, and then use an AP Renetal as well as Ochre to get this whole going. Here, this is my Renetal. It's really basic, and it provides me with 12 AP, which can be if you really want to do like Wrath or anything. I sometimes just really enjoy 12 AP, but you tend to crit a little bit less. You don't have 85% dagger crits, but like I think 77 or so. And sometimes I feel like you can already tell the difference. So here you see I don't crit at all, which is really shitty. And this happens sometimes. And yeah, I will wait a little bit. So buff, nice, and then wait for a turn. So it has 10,000 HP, and you can kind of sometimes do that amount of damage in that turn. So it does a lot of damage when crit, and that's what we want to see, right? And yeah, so the strength set is really cool. It needs a little bit more like maintaining maintenance of the different buffs, but that's all right. So sometimes I feel a bit struggling deciding to hit with the daggers or with the stuff. But let's talk about my Agi. So here, yet again the basic Agi set using, yes. Well, the dragon helmet is not perfect, but I really don't mind. My resistance are good enough. At some point, I will upgrade the dragon head for 13% resistance. And here, see, it's a really cheap, uh, pet's mount, but it doesn't matter. It gets the job done. It's my most effective. And in the first video I posted, I used this close combat variant of my Agi set with a Krokobur. This does really nice damage. Just has a low agility resistance. And yeah, I just showcase you the damage again. So it can do nice damage. And the Kokobu is definitely really good on the Agi. But here you see like almost 3000, which is really nice. And yeah, it definitely hits way better than the ranged variant. And that's why I really enjoy the Agi one. And now last but not, well, actually kind of least, so at least in 3 I think the least viable is the chance set that I use. Just because my resistance are not maged yet, so I still need to mage my Agi and my fire resistance. But yet again, it's a quite a simple standard set. Offsetting the problem with Krokobur and range resistant by the Servitude's Embrace, which kind of like gives me 10% range resistance. And yeah, so nothing too special. It's a really fun set. I think I really want to use this set again on my Hooper or my Sakria, because there this set really shines. But for Eops don't do that much chance damage. But with the shields in 1v1, it's actually quite nice, but not in 3v3. So here, usually I use Virtue instead of Power, but just to deal a little bit more damage when showcasing, I decided to just use Power. So the damage is not too amazing, but it's still really consistent, and Diop is definitely fun. I definitely enjoy it. Now let's talk about the fight that I cut out from showcasing the inset. Well, first of all, I still want to talk about the 1X. This legendary item is really nice because if it's of its effects, it lets you gain an MP every time you kill an enemy, so you have more MP for the rest of the fight, and also you gain lock or MP reduction depending on the situation, which can really make it when used on an intelligence Ugi. So my Uginak often uses that to just go crazy on the enemy, having thousands of MP while reducing the enemies to 0 MP. So, but let's jump straight into the fight. So I'm playing with an Eka and Exilo. So an Eka can do some support, but not good enough. It's and you never know what kind of Eka you play with on random. So, and plus the enemy had a Faker. So the enemy is quite bulky, and a rush version wouldn't work. So usually what I do is then go for agility. The range agility set is even more bulky than the regular, and you don't need to worry too much with jumping in. And also I can just shield my Xela friend. And yeah, they go in strong, focusing the Xela, doing heavy damage. And yeah, it's always a good call to go Agi in this game. So I feel like with Agi you reach a way higher rating as well. So with Agi you can reach 4,200, 300. I wouldn't think you could do this with other builds because okay. And I will just keep pressuring. Here's the enemy, the Elio. He's already like somewhat low, and all I really do is just keep running in, keep shielding, and keep eroding. Sometimes when the enemy doesn't run away from me, I can use a Senate, which does huge amounts of damage as long as you haven't used any MP that turn. So that's always nice. But here, it's it. Sadly, I couldn't really do much for the Xelo. I thought it's not worth it jumping for just a bit. I thought hitting is way better, and so I just fully went in on it. I didn't realize until now that the Faker is super noob though. So the Faker has almost no resistances and doesn't play too well. Doesn't shield his friends. I think then it would be a completely different story. On the other hand, our Xelo doesn't really play well. Xelo needs spacing. It's not really sturdy, so jumps in, jumps out. But this from turn one needed support, so that's not really great. And I feel like our Eka doesn't really know how to Eka either. So I'm not with the best team. So it's a good call that I went with sturdy because sometimes so here I just go Senate straight on the Faker and he's dead. So Senate does crazy amounts of damage. Yeah. Anyways, it's good just to go really bulky because imagine me going glass cannon thinking we do a good rush, but seeing that my teammates die turn one and then if I get focused, I die immediately. So it's a really bad call to be just glass cannon in this instance. Seeing how the Eka already is almost dead with. So I shield him. This is really nice having the shield and then just go to town on Elio. Sadly, cannot kill him. Or maybe I should have killed him instead, but I locked him. So the Ega should be fine. Yeah, he doesn't even hit through the portal. I tell him to shield so that he is fine and he starts to healing and summon the healing kitten, which is really nice. And now the Hooper is first of all AP raping me, what the fuck, and also he's setting up runes. So I immediately knew that he's gonna use the runic overcharge, basically having a small hit for each rune he uses. And so I keep telling the Ika, luck, please luck, luck, why don't you luck? But he thinks like I have 2000 HP, it will be fine. But here he didn't luck, and that's what happens, runic overcharge. Yeah, I got a little bit mad, but yeah. But I have full HP, nice lazy, and I just keep charging him. He has low HP, so he cannot just jump in and make it a brawl. So he just tries to stay away, and this gives me an advantage. He's trying to do those charges again. I just hit him and go back. So he doesn't heal, like he doesn't recover. Just consistent, annoying, small damage can really help. And yes, so now it's it. That's it. I mean, like the damage is really enough. I really like the agility. You have so much value. Anyways, now showcasing also the Shah set. The Shah set is not too good in 1vs1, and but I mean like in 3v3, but in 1vs1 it can be quite fun and quite good. I actually win a lot because it has a lot of initiative, and yeah, you can just hit a little bit. So I realized that he's a strong hitting intelligence from the beginning, and that I forgot to put virtue instead of power, so I don't have any extra shields. So I'm like shit. But I hit anyways, doing some nice damage and shielding myself, which is really nice. Ooh, yes. He now wants to sword fate kill me, but I don't let him do that. So I just like do fight back. He can't reach me with jump, and it's all good. So I survived one cloudy turn of this Eop. So indie ops are always dangerous in the sort of fate turns. So it's an in and out thing. I in and out approach for me. So now I'm just hitting a little bit, and yeah, I really miss that I didn't use any Vit or Shield on this one. So this is a little bit problematic. Plus, this turn I think I got distracted by something, so I couldn't play. So I jump in last minute to save myself from a sort of fate. Yeah. Oh, what's happening? I just survived, and yeah, the shield really helps me staying alive. And yeah, the shield is really nice. So this is what a Shanzi up does. He consistently heals or kind of shields, and this is quite nice. and I think yeah, I needed to survive one more turn. So yet again, I push him away, and he is trying to save himself to get like the silver Dofus, but I don't want him to do that, so I don't let that happen. And the damage is good enough to just kill him. And yeah, this is the Shah. The Shah Eop is really nice, and so another one we actually have Virtue on. So it's a Strum. Strums are really hard to kill and really annoying for I feel like for regular Eops, but for Shah Eop, I usually don't struggle with Strums that much. First of all, because I get the first hit, so before they invis, I can already have some fun with it. And yeah, but agility Strums are really, really annoying sometimes. And so it's just about cheating. And here, by chance, I jumped right next to him and I couldn't go. So I was like, hell yeah, getting another hit off, which is really nice. I think that made him really mad. And now I try to stay in the center, so it doesn't matter where he goes, I can reach him. But he does the right thing, or they usually do the right thing by gravitating their Eop so that you cannot charge them right away. But it really doesn't matter. Um, he will be dead before he can invis again. And yeah, and let's see. Yeah. I don't even risk it to jump into anything. I don't think it would even matter, but I just jump because I can. Because I can. And he's dead and killed by Krokobur. Anyways, this was the Chayop with the shields. I hope you enjoyed.